MLB Tonight continues live from the winter meetings. Time for a manager interview presented by Sage. And it's always good news when this desk gets a whole lot more Canadian. Between me and Rob Thomson, already 50%. Ruben played in Edmonton. That's good news as well. You're pro-Canada. Come on.
Of course.
Who would it be?
North of the border, baby.
Yeah. Topper, great to see you, man. How's the winter meetings been treating you so far?
It's been great. You know, we've been busy. We're up in the room quite a bit, and just going over different scenarios and trying to get a little bit better around the edges. You know, we've got a good ball club, so we don't really have many holes to fill. So we're just trying to get a little bit better on the outside.
First and foremost, can I get a survey here? Is this the best weave of all time?
No, Topper's hair looks fantastic. I'm glad you mentioned it, because I'm just being transfixed by it the whole time. It's great. Probably top Ruben's hair.
Robbie, jealousy is a horrible emotion.
I know.
Now, you said you have a great ball club, and you do. Do you feel like this club can come back as is, even though you have now added Romano to the back end of your bullpen? Can they be a World Series champion ball club as is?
Absolutely. You know, we've got a top 5 offense. I mean, a lot of categories last year were top 5 offensively. We've got a really good rotation. And it's Romano, by the way. That's how we pronounce it in Canada.
That's an excellent point. No, Rob nailed it. I one time asked Jordan that, and Jordan said, Rob's absolutely right.
I like the way you announced it.
No, he said in America, like Ray Romano, the actor, and he goes, in Canada, it's Romano. So Topper's right.
I bet you in Philadelphia it's pronounced Romano.
That's pretty
correct.
Yeah, but you know, with the addition of Jordan, I think we've got a really good bullpen. You know, we're still looking, but we got a good club. They've been there before. They're experienced, and you know, a good really mix of experience and younger players, and a lot of energy and a lot of talent.
Robbie, I think I owe you an apology. That's the first chance I've gotten to years ago, 1989.
This goes back to the Yankee days.
Robbie was Robbie was a coach for the London, Ontario Tigers. Chris Chambliss was the manager at the Yankee connection. And I saw this guy running everywhere, throwing BP, hitting fungos. Basically, look at this guy.
Oh,
look at it. Over in Russia, though. Look at that background.
That was in Russia, yeah.
That was definitely not London.
Back when life was simple. We played opening day there. It was about 33 degrees, and Robbie was comfortable. But at the end of the year, they said, hey, we're looking for a guy, this and that, whatever, do that. I go, there's this guy with London, Ontario. You guys should really talk to. And they did. So I apologize for you being stuck in this your whole life.
No, well, it's been good to me. And the Yankees were good to me, too. I spent 28 years there, and so I appreciate that.
There were a lot of other people part of you joining and staying in the game, but glad to see you guys get rewarded for it. You keep trying to get out of it a little bit, they won't let you. 95 wins and you got to apologize? Come on.
No, it's been a really good run. You know, we got talented players, but they're so much fun to be around. Yeah. They really love to play. They play hard every day. They work hard. They compete. I have this incredible front office that I get to work with every day, and it's just a really good family atmosphere in Philadelphia, and I just love it.
You had an amazing first half of the season. The second half, sort of, 500 baseball. Yeah. What do you attribute that to? And I know you had a great rotation working for a long time and are healthy for most of the year, but was it the rotation? Was it the bats? Where did things sort of start to slide?
Yeah, I think some fatigue set in. I mean, we went out pretty hard, and then we ended up going to London and doing that, and then we had some injuries after that with JT, and Harp went down for a bit, and Schwarb went down for a bit, and we lost Ranger for a bit too. So I think it was just a combination of a lot of things, but all in all, there was only 1 month, I think it was July, that we didn't have 15 wins. So that's pretty consistent, pretty good year.
They played 34 postseason games in your stewardship. To your point, Rob, and you're playing all those games, that does add up. 95 wins the regular season. You lose the NLDS, the Mets. I know the postseason can just be a crapshoot, but what was the biggest takeaway you took from that series?
Well, we ran into a really hot club. That was one thing, and honestly, we just didn't play well. We chased a lot and got ourselves out a lot, but I thought we were prepared going into it. But I think, going into it next year, we just have to, all of us, including myself, just have to do a better job.
I think sometimes that managers, the way they look at the manager of the year, so to speak, I look at Dave Roberts, I look at Robbie, and they go, oh, we can't consider them. They're expected to win. I think the hardest thing to do in team sports is either repeat or win when it's expected to. There's such a mental challenge for them because they were getting everybody's best shot. This is one of the best clubs everybody knew, but yet they stay consistent, 15 wins or plus every month. I mean, maintaining that, Robbie, knowing that mental edge. I know you lean on the players you acquire, but at the same time, keeping that mental edge when you know everybody's coming after you.
Yeah, it's difficult, but I think, and our coaching staff does a great job. I mean, everybody says it, but I truly feel we have the best coaching staff in baseball. But they do a great job of motivating these guys, keeping them sharp, knowing that these teams are coming after us, and they're going to give us their best game. They line up their best pitching against us if they have an off day, so they can do it. So those are things that motivate players. I know they motivate our players to just keep going and just be the best they can be.
So you talked a little bit about the chase and some of the issues that they had. Actually, the last couple of postseasons. Is there something? I know that Kyle Schwarber jumped his numbers up 50 points.
Yeah.
Are there things that the guys can do to improve and to get better in that area? And is it something that you guys have been thinking about this offseason?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that we preach really is, again, getting a good pitch to hit, but don't be afraid to use the entire field. Stay on the baseball. Think right center if you're right-handed hitter, left center if you're left-handed hitter. Have a game plan, go up, execute the game plan, and do your best. But I think we got a little bit better during the course of the season last year. I'm hoping that it continues to get better. We ran into a buzzsaw in the playoffs, and we chased a lot. We ran into good pitching.
Well, certainly you've had a lot of talent on that team. The Kyle Schwarbers, the Trey Turners, the Bryce Harpers. When you look at someone like Alec Boehm, Topper, how would you evaluate his game?
Geez, he's really improved so much. This is, and I know the rumors are flying all over the place. We're not shopping him, but people are approaching us on him, so you got to listen. But this guy has improved so much, not just physically, but mentally over the course of the year, the 3-4 years he's been in the big leagues. Bobby Dickerson, who Buck knows very well, has done an unbelievable job with Alec, be better defensively, throwing accuracy, glove action. He's really a good hitter because he does the things that I was talking about not chasing. He does get good pitches to hit. He uses the entire field. He makes contact. That's why he's so good hitting behind Harper, because he's going to put the ball in play with runners in scoring position. He's not going to strike out. You can pretty much book an RBI if Alec is at the plate with less than 2 outs and runner in scoring position.
How often do you keep in touch with John Kruk in the offseason?
Not in the offseason. During the season, he's on the plane a lot.
You get your fill of Ruben and John Kruk during the season. Keep making Sarnia, Ontario proud, and love the shout out to London, Ontario. We got to show that cardigan. That was unbelievable. The Russian, that backdrop of St. Petersburg, that is not London, Ontario.
No.
2 hours from Toronto.
So cold. I remember I called the place and said, hey, what time's the doubleheader tomorrow? They said, no, we're playing tonight. What? 30?
Well, that shot.
Yeah.
People are going to, because the London jersey goes, that London? No, that's St. Petersburg, Russia.
Yeah, it is. St. Basil's Cathedral right there in Red Square.
Gorgeous architecture, right?
Yeah.
Give me a quick Russia story before I let you go.
Well, we were there for 18 days, 6 days in Kiev, 6 days in Tallinn, Estonia, and 6 days in Moscow. We stayed right down the block from Red Square, and the first night in, we flew in, and Buck would know Dick Groach, famous scout for the Yankees. Him and I were rooming together. He said, let's go down to Red Square, and we walked down there, and it was just turning midnight, a little snow in the air. And they were goose stepping. The guards for Lenin's tomb were goose stepping.
Wow.
And Dick turned to me and he said, now we're in Russia. I said, yeah, you're absolutely right.
The key was getting out of Russia.
Yeah.
Now we're in it. The great Rob Thomson. Thanks, Topper. Good to see you.